Here is an example of science in real life. Yes, indeed. Josh, Dan, and Wilkins are going to apply their scientific skills, and they're going to find out whether or not throwing a football is actually as beneficial for their focus in class as they claim it is. So let's find out. All right, we're going to go through these answers. You should be writing the correct answer with a red pen on your paper if you do not already have the correct answer written down. Their independent variable is whether or not they throw around a football before class, as they have been so often asking to do. Their dependent variable, this is what they are measuring, this is their data that they're collecting. Their dependent variable is how often they're distracted, okay, how much they get distracted during class. That says of, it should say often, sorry. Problem solved. Their scientific question, what is the effect of something on something? What is the effect of throwing a football before class on how well students focus in class? Something like that is what you're looking for. Their hypothesis, if then because. If students have time to throw a football before class, then they will be less distracted in class because they've already had a chance to talk with their friends and burn off some energy. Okay, the because part is not as specific as the other parts. It's really whatever you think would cause that situation to take place. Now, their control experiment, this is one we often get confused on. Their control experiment is like the baseline, the normal. It's what they're going to compare their independent variable to. Think of it as being the opposite of their independent variable, perhaps. The control experiment here is not throwing a football before class, right? That's what's normal. It's normal for kids to just go to class and not throw a football first. Constants. These are things we keep the same on purpose. We might also think of them as things that could be the independent variable in a different example. Okay, so we're looking for other things which may affect how often they're distracted, other things which could affect our data. We would want them to keep the time of the day that they go to class the same subject class, the same type of lesson, right? You wouldn't compare a test one day with a, experiment the next day. Obviously, you're going to see differences in distraction in those two examples. The same friends in their class, maybe if their friend's absent one day, they're just going to focus better because their friend's not there. The same breakfast before school, don't have like a crazy sugar donut one day and then scrambled eggs or something the next day. That's probably going to change how you feel in class. These are all examples of constants that they want to keep the same. Remember, you should be writing this down with your red pen on your paper if you don't have it yet. All right, now here is their data. We're looking at this pretty data. Sorry that your papers are black and white, but you can see the pretty colors here. I like colors. All right, so it seems pretty clear that perhaps Josh and Wilkins and Dan actually are speaking common sense about something. Perhaps throwing the football around really does help them focus better in class. When we look at this data, we see that throwing the football before class is helping them focus. When they did not throw the football, they had now look, here's what I'm doing. I'm using actual numbers from the graph to help me support my statements. You can't just say, oh, it's better to throw it than not throw it. That's not enough. I need numbers. All right? So here's my numbers. They had an average of 14 times of being distracted, even as high as 19 times. So look, I'm using specific examples to really make it obvious. In comparison, they got to throw around the football first. They had an average of 7 times, and sometimes only 5 times. Like, woo, big difference. You want to make a big deal here, make it really obvious by using those numbers from the data. So then we're going to wrap it up with a concluding sentence. Clearly, students can concentrate better in class when they've been allowed to throw a football around first. So remember that you want to use the actual numbers from the data to support your statement to get all of those points.